I'd like to share a couple of things that I have pulled away from the leadership training that I've been attending for the last several months. The first thing that's very important to me as I move forward to be a successful manager is the importance of all the employees. Um, it's easy to focus as a manager on the ones that need discipline or the ones that need additional training, but as I move forward, I want to spend time with each and every employee and get to know them on a personal level, and also be able to interact with equal amount of time with all the employees. That will strengthen the nursing department.
Leadership University has taught me to focus more on my strengths and less on my weaknesses. One of the strengths I learned I have is individualization. Back at the facility, I've learned to take that strength and use it to plan and organize residents' activities based on their need, their interest, and their level. I've also used that to connect with my staff on an individualized, learn to see my staff as individuals and learn what they need from me, how they need me to communicate with them, and what they need me to do to make sure that they are successful. They all come from different backgrounds, they're all different, and I've learned to individualize how I can be a leader for them using their strengths.
I also learned a lot about the reflective process and how I can take time to look at what my staff is doing and what the people that I'm serving, how they're looking at a situation, and reflect on that as opposed to being reactive, where I have had the ability to be reactive in the past. So this is now something that I've learned on and a skill that I'm growing and developing from the leadership class. And lastly, the rule of sixes. Again, it kind of goes along the lines with reflection, but using the rule of six on how they're an individual or a family or a staff member is looking at a situation, and given truly 6 ways and not just 1 or 2 ways that I think they may be looking at an idea, but truly looking deeper into that and what motivates them to think the way they're thinking and act the way they're acting. And then I can best formulate a response when I come up with a bunch of different scenarios. So those are ways I'll continue to grow myself in my leadership journey.
The main thing for me was to learn to listen, to learn to empower my staff by throw them back with questions like, what would you do in this situation? When they ask me for advice or what should I do, let's think about this. What would you do if I wasn't here? What would you do? So that's one of the main things that I've brought to my staff, and I've seen a huge improvement in the relationship with my staff, in their willingness to do things on their own. Now they'll go out and do things, and then they'll let me know instead of asking advice.
I think it's given me some skills that, and a recognition that for me personally, I need to be a better listener for the people that I supervise, to really allow them to have a chance to communicate with me and feel like that they have my full and undivided attention. I also feel like it's important to encourage their skills and give them a chance to grow and expand and recognize what an important and integral part they are of the team. Not just the leadership team, but of the programmatic teams that we run in our programs.
A couple of things I really appreciate about Home People America is the founding, the couple that founded it, founded their own faith, and so they were motivated by a deeper principle than just serving somebody. I think their faith and their faith in God has encouraged them and inspired them to see people's needs and meet their needs, and I really appreciate that, the whole person. So that was encouraging to me to understand that. One of the other things I learned was to think with a whole new mind. We read a book about a whole new mind, and not just using my left mind, which I'm pretty good at normally, but to try to be creative and use the right mind and that side of my brain, to be creative and use that to help the community and serve them in a better way. So, thank you.
One of the things that I've used recently is with trust and understanding, where I just brought on a new team member in my transportation group that's a key player. And to understand why all the other drivers were starting acting out right away when we brought her on, and was quickly able to recognize that it was a trust issue with a new team member, and where we each have learned to trust each other again. I guess I compared it to my horses a lot, where I just brought a new horse, and you see the same issue with the horses, where brought in a new horse with two others, and they don't like the new horse, and so they have to learn to trust and know that they're not going to hurt them and have the same interest.
Some of the other sessions that have been particularly helpful for me were the ones that dealt with emotional intelligence. And it's helped me to try to be more aware of my own emotion and how I'm responding to a situation. The Strength Finders section was also helpful. I know that one of my strengths and values that are important to me is harmony, and it helped me understand why sometimes if things temporarily seem a little disharmonious, why that may be difficult. So I've learned how to do that. I'm going to keep working on that as well. And I've just totally appreciated the investment that Volunteers of America have made in me personally, so that I feel better, able, and more confident to help others in need. Thank you.